Okay. It is one of your responsibilities. It is one of our concern. Ano po? To take good care of our Mother Earth. No? It is everyone's concern because we only have one planet. No? And this is the only planet where life exists. Ano po? So that is why it is our commitment, it is our responsibility, no, to be concerned or to become responsible as far as conserving the natural resources or to maintain the ecological balance of our planet Earth, no? Ibig sabihin po, there must be a constant or symbiotic relationship among people, among animals and plants. Okay? Because we have the symbiotic relationship, no? The living conditions or the living factors para magkaroon ng interactions, para magkaroon ng relationship ang mga tao, ang mga hayop at ang mga halaman. Okay? Mga maminser, aminin man natin o hindi, we belong to kingdom Animalia. No? But of course, we are in the highest ano po yun? We are in the highest form of animals. No? Meron po tayong symbiotic relationship. Okay? Na tinatawag. So, paliwanag po natin sa susunod na mga slides. Okay? Another, ecology is the scientific study of the relationships that living organisms have with each other and with their natural environment. Ano po? So, pag sinabi po natin ecology, sabi ko sa inyo kanina, no? It is another branch of science, no? So, therefore, it is classified as a scientific study, no? Pag sinabi po natin science, it is a systematized body of knowledge. So, therefore, ecology is another body of knowledge, which is all about the relationships that living organisms have with each other and with their natural environment. When we talk about natural environment, that pertains to our natural resources. Hindi po tao ang gumawa. Kalikasan. Nagising tayo, nabuhay tayo dito sa mundong ibabaw na nandyan na sila. Nandyan na ang ating kalikasan. It is a God-given or it was created by God. Ano po? Para ma-enjoy natin ang ating natural environment. So therefore, ibinigay sa atin ito ng libre, pangalagaan natin. Ano po? That is the only thing that we can do in order for us to conserve and take good care of our natural resources. Ano po? Next one, environment. So it is all the circumstances, people, things, events around them that influence their life. Everything in our surroundings, in our environment, influence our lives. Ano po? Pag sinabi po nating environment, it is all about the natural world. The physical world. Ang ating kalikasan. So that is environment. And that is imperative. It is our duty, no, to take good care and to protect our environment. More so with the law enforcers like you. Ano po? So when we talk about environment, we are referring to the natural world. No? Pag sinabi po nating surroundings, we cannot say, no, na ito po is meron pang mga natural resources. When our surroundings has plenty of garbages, has plenty of pollution, surroundings lang po ang tawag natin, no? Simply surroundings. But when we talk about environment, no, look at the letters of the environment. It's all about green. Ano po? Green. Meaning to say, we are referring to greeneries when we talk about environment. But if the environment or if the surroundings ay makalat, maraming basura, no? Maraming hindi ka kanais-nais or kaaya-ayang mga amoy, Ano po? Surroundings lang po yan, ang tawag natin. Okay? Another, relationship. When we talk about relationship, that includes our interactions, no? That refers to the interactions with the physical world and with the members of other species. Anong relationship meron tayo sa ating mga animals? Anong relationship meron tayo sa ating mga halaman? Di po ba? We have, no? Sabi natin, no man is an island. And, ang sabi po is that, hindi po tayo nabubuhay para sa sarili lamang, no? We need some relationship, no? Hindi lang po yung relationship nyo with your significant others. But this is all about the relationship with all the members in our environment, no? The ones that I am referring to are the living and the non-living organisms. Ano po? Lahat po yan, meron tayong interactions, no? In other words, we have the relationship. Okay? Like for example, food chain. Di po ba? In the food chain, kasama po tayo, bago mapunta sa ating table, ang mga pagkain, no, kailangan pinaprocess, no, na nanggagaling sa halaman, nanggagaling sa mga hayop, no? Hindi po tayo mabubuhay ng walang pagkain na nanggaling sa mga plants. Hindi rin po yung iba, no, hindi makakain pag walang mga lechon, no? Pag walang mga fried chicken, 'di ba? So they are the animals that influence our lives, no? So therefore, we have the relationships with them. Ano po? Another, yung mga predators natin, yung mga insects natin, 'di ba? Kinakain po 'yan ng ibang hayop, no? Para for their survival, 'di ba? Para sila ay lumaki. And thereby, mapakinabangan po sila ng mga tao, no? Sabi nga po natin, we are the highest form of animals kasi we belong to class mammalia, no? We are mammals kasi meron po tayong mga milk, 'di ba? Na nagsisecrete from our mammary glands, no? At yung ating at yung milk na nasisecrete ng ating mammary glands are very important for the consumption of our offspring or our children. Ano po? So that makes us, no, a kind of animal. But syempre, we are the highest form of animals. Ano po, mga mami sir? We are the Homo sapiens. Ibang-iba na po tayo sa mga Homo erectus, no? Na mga kuba pa na hindi pa nakakatayo nung unang panahon, no, during the primitive years na hindi na bago pa lang natutuklasan ang ating mundo, no? Wala pang civilization noong panahon ng mga Homo erectus. At ang mga Homo erectus po ay kamukhang-kamukha pa, no, ng mga apes o mga monkeys, no, mga orangutan na pinagmula natin. Ano po? But then, yung mga Homo erectus ay naging Homo habilis, no? At ang mga Homo habilis ay unti-unti nang nagiging tuwid ang katawan, nakakalakad na at nakakatakbo. Ano po? Kaya po tinawag na Homo habilis, no? Because they can walk, they can run already. Ano po, mga mami sir? And they are having already their straight body. Ano po? Another thing, after that, ay naging Homo sapien na, no? At tayo na po yan, no? Magaganda na at mga gwapo na, no? Ang mga Homo sapiens. Malayong malayo sa pinanggalingan na mga apes or orangutan or mga Homo erectus. Ano po? And plus the fact na mga Homo sapiens po has that God-given faculties, no? God-given faculties because we can talk, and we are responsible with what we are doing. Ano po? with what we are doing. No, we are responsible because we have the mind, we have the working mind, we have the brain. Ano po? Na kakaiba po sa mga hayop, no, na kinabibilangan natin. Okay? Another thing, another relationship that exists among plants and animals are the fact that the carbon dioxide, no, na inilalabas po, na are being secreted by the animals, no, ay inaabsorb po ng mga plants, no? Inaabsorb ng plants para naman po sa kanilang survival. The carbon dioxide serves as organic fertilizer, ano po? Organic fertilizer para sa ating mga halaman. At ang mga halaman, ang mga punong kahoy in return gives off oxygen for our survival. Hindi po tayo makakahinga. We cannot breathe in without the presence of oxygen, no? Ito po ang ating buhay, ang oxygen. Kaya nga po, 'di ba? Bumibili pa tayo ng mga artificial oxygen, 'di ba? Para po sa ating survival, yung mga hindi makahinga, no? Nagsisikip ang dibdib, ang kanilang mga lungs, ang kanilang respiratory system is not functioning well. So therefore, we need, no, the artificial oxygen. And the artificial oxygen are very expensive, no? But we need that. We have no choice, especially sa mga cities, sa mga urban areas, no, na wala nang gasinong mga halaman, wala nang gasinong mga punong kahoy, kasi po ay pinagpuputol na. So walang oxygen, no, na lumalabas. Pero kailangan ng tao ng oxygen. So what we need is to have the artificial oxygen para tayo ay mabuhay, no? Pero dito po sa mga provinces natin, no, may mga puno sa paligid, may mga halaman, no, na nakatanim, so they are giving us oxygen, okay, for our survival. Plus, no, yung plants kinakain natin or iniluluto natin muna, syempre, no? Hindi natin kinakain ng basta na lang. Iniluluto natin at yung iba, pwede namang kainin ng raw or hilaw. Diba? Mas maganda pa nga kainin ng raw. Ano po? Kasi yung enzymes, the presence of enzymes ay maganda po, no, sa ating katawan to kill those bad cells, no? Yung mga cancer cells, diba? Ay binapatay po, no, ng mga enzymes, natural enzymes na nanggagaling sa ating mga halaman. Ano po? Kaya promote the consumption of fruits and vegetables, mga maminsir. Those are healthy foods. Makakasigurado po tayo na healthy foods kung sarili nating ani. Pero kung hindi tayo sigurado at maraming synthetic chemicals, no, na inilagay sa mga fruits and vegetables na yan para sila ay lumaki at ma-harvest natin, we need to do something. Ano po? Para hindi yan maka-apekto sa ating health. Babad muna natin ng 15 minutes sa water na may asin, no? The saline or the saline solution po ay importante para ma-detoxify, no? Ma-detoxify ang ating mga kakaining gulay at prutas. Okay po? Next, ecosystem. So ecosystem is the complex of a community of organisms and its environment functioning as an ecological unit in nature. Ecosystems are composed of dynamically interacting parts, including organisms, the communities they make up, and the non-living components of their environment. So it is clear that when we talk about the ecosystem, ito po, no, the community where we live in. Ano po? Complex of a community. Ang ecosystem po is composed of the different communities. May community po na kung saan nakatira ay ang mga people, ang mga Homo sapiens. May community po tayo katulad ng mga forests, ng oceans, no? That is a kind, no, of a community of the different organisms. Kaya lang po, may kanya-kanya tayong tawag, no? But when we talk about ecosystem, iyan po ay complex of a community, no? Bakit siya tinawag na ecosystem? Because all the components are interacting with each other. The different organisms are interacting with each other. Ano po? Meron din pong mga non-living components na kinakailangan natin for our survival, no? Non-living components, example, ang asin. Ang asin is a non-living component coming from the combination of a compound sodium chloride, no? Sodium and chlorine are the kind of elements that are present in our salt or the sodium chloride or the NaCl ang ating symbol, no? That's the table salt na very famous po sa ating lahat, no? So those are the non-living components na kailangan po natin para tayo ay mabuhay, no? And another thing, ang salt ay kailangan natin for the preservations of foods. Ano po? Okay, so that is what we call ecosystem. Okay, please take note po, no, of our lecture. We have our quiz after the discussion. Ano po? Now, let us have the pollution. No? Ano naman po yung pollution na tinatawag natin? No? Pollution is the contamination of the physical environment with undesirable amount of materials of energy resulting to the impairment of its purity. No? So during the primitive years, bago pa lang ang ating mundo, we are free from pollution. But because of the increasing population, dumarami po ang pollution. No? Yung ating pong mga natural environment, nagkakaroon na po ng presence of undesirable materials which are giving so much problem or that can impair, no, the purity of our natural world, no? So nagkakaroon po ng taint, no, or tinta. Ano ba yung tawag natin sa tinta? The taint, no, para hindi na siya maging pure. Ano po? Like for example, the bodies of water, no? The Ilog Pasig or the Pasig River. It was clearly stated in the novels of Dr. Jose Rizal, no? The Noli Me Tangere and the Il Filibusterismo, how he elaborated, no, the Ilog Pasig as the source of life, diba? Clear water, no? There are living organisms, no, that the people can harvest for their consumption. Plus, the water is helping them so much, no, for all the domestic household chores, no? Yung ating mga pang-araw-araw na gawain, inaasahan natin yan o ang tubig na kinukuha natin ay mula sa Pasig River, no? It is also the source of drinking water, no? But look at Ilog Pasig now. What is now the color of it? So, hindi lang po undesirable amount, no, kundi full, no, full of undesirable materials na po ang ating Ilog Pasig. It's now colored black, no? Black na siya, no? At ganun din po makikita natin ang some of the oceans, no? Yung ating mga karagatan, 'di ba? Marami ng mga oil spill, maraming mga garbages, maraming mga trash na itinatapon ng mga tao, no? So in other words, ang pollution po ay ginawa din ng mga tao, no? Ginawa ng mga tao. Okay, biodiversity. When we talk about biodiversity, we are referring to the variety of life and its processes. It includes the variety of living organisms, no? Because from the word bio, it means life. So, pag sinabi po nating biodiversity, so diverse, different, no? Bio, life. So, different kinds of life, no? We also have the genetic differences, the communities and ecosystems in which they occur, and the ecological and evolutionary processes that keep them functioning, yet ever-changing and adapting, no? Kung mapapansin po natin, our common name is human, no? Pero sa ibang lengguwahe, ang human po or ang tao sa mga Pilipino ay iba ang tawag sa ibang bansa, no? So, ibig sabihin po, kahit iba-iba man ang tawag sa atin, or kahit pare-pareho tayong tao, ano po yun? Nagulat ako doon Okay. Sige po. Yan, wala tuloy ako, no? Nawala ako sa momentum, no? Asa na ba tayo? So, it includes the variety of the living organisms and the genetic differences. Kahit pare-pareho tayong human, pare-pareho tayong Homo sapiens, we came from or we have different genes, no? Iba't iba po ang genes na nananalaytay sa ating mga ugat, no? Because we came from different families, no? Hindi tayo magkakamukha. Ano po? So because of the genetic differences that we have, no? Pero we are part of the biodiversity, no? The ecological and evolutionary processes. Lahat po tayo ay nagdaan sa process of evolution. The explanation that I have made a while ago about the Homo erectus, Homo habilis, and the Homo sapiens now are part or product of the process of evolution, no? So, the evolution na minana po natin kay Charles Darwin. Na? So, that is the biodiversity. Another, when we talk about biodiversity, it is an abbreviation, no, of biological diversity, no? The biological diversity that describes the diversity of life from genes to ecosystem, no? Mula sa maliliit na cells, 'di ba? Na nabuo, no? Nabuo maging halaman, nabuo maging hayop, or nabuo ang genes na maging tao from their respective families, no? So the term has several interpretations. Yes po. Palagi po tayong nagbibigay ng mga names. We can still name all the different species. Gaano man po karami, no? Mga varieties ng plants, varieties and species of animals. Napakarami, no? At napakarami din pong tao sa mundo. Pero lahat po yan ay may pangalan. At ang nag-iisa pong ipinangalan ng ating father of modern taxonomy na si Carolus Linnaeus, no? Ay ang Homo sapiens para sa mga tao, no? Ibig sabihin, wherever you go, punta ka man sa ibang bansa, iisa lang po ang description ng mga tao at ang tawag po ay Homo sapiens. Nang sa ganon, hindi ka po maligaw, no? Kung paano mo makikilala ang isang variety or ang isang species ng living organism. Ano po? Kagaya po ng malunggay, no? Malunggay is, the scientific name is Moringa oleifera, diba? Moringa is its variety and oleifera is the species. Ano po? Or the genera or the generic term is Moringa. Ano po? So, ang malunggay po, kilalang-kilala natin na nagbibigay sa atin ng maraming nutrients and nakakapagpagaling sa maraming karamdaman. Di po ba? But be careful lang po, no, sa pagkain ng malunggay kasi baka po yung kinakain yung malunggay ay full of pollution, no? So, huwag niyo pong kainin kapag siya ay full of pollution because moringa po is a very good absorber of pollution. No? So, dahil po siya ay very good absorber of pollution, kapag siya po ay nakatanim along the highway, nako, ina-absorb niya po ang lahat ng usok na nanggaling sa mga sasakyan. No? Magaling po siya kasing mag-cure, no, ng mga sakit. Magaling din po siyang mag-cure ng pollution, diba? So, halos lahat na yata ng klase ng pollution, ina-absorb ni malunggay. Ano po? Kaya, pag po ang malunggay ay nakatanim sa tabing daan, please do not eat, no, those malunggay, no, near the highway or along the highway. Ano po? Magtanim po kayo ng malunggay, yun pong nasa loob ng inyong farm or nasa loob ng mga bukid, nasa loob ng inyong mga niyugan na malayo po sa mga kalsada, 'di ba? Hindi po natin ipinagbabawal, inire-recommend pa nga natin, no, na kumain kayo ng malunggay. Pero be sure na hindi siya nakatanim along the highway. Ano po? Pag po along the highway, matakot na kayo sa pagkain ng malunggay. Okay? So, consume more malunggay, mga maminser, no? It's good for the health. Pero, yun pong nasa inyong likuran ng bahay or mga 50 to 100 meters away from the highway. Ano po? So, yan po, ang Moringa oleifera. Ang pangalan po niya o ang term na ginagamit natin magpahanggang ngayon ay utang natin, no, sa ating father of modern taxonomy, no, one of the scientists, Carolus Linnaeus, no, siya po ang ating scientist na responsible in the naming of the different organisms, either plants or animals. Ano po, mga maminsan? Okay, next term is habitat. What is habitat po kaya? The habitat of a species describes the environment over which a species is known to occur, and the type of community that is formed as a result. Habitats can be defined as regions in environmental space that are composed of multiple dimensions, wherein each of them represents biotic or abiotic environmental variables. Ano po? Which are needed, no, by a certain organism for their survival. Okay? So in other words po, when we talk about habitat, we are referring to the home or the house or yun pong tirahan ng mga animals, no? Pag sinabi nating habitat, ito po ay nagtataglay ng mga environmental conditions na tinatawag natin na abiotic or biotic environmental variables na kailangan po nila para sila ay mag-survive at mag-exist in that one particular environment, no? Look at the giraffe, no? Bakit po hindi nag-i-exist dito ang giraffe sa ating bansa? Because ang giraffe po ay nasa disyerto, 'di ba? Sila po ang nakatira, no, sa Middle East countries. So yung Middle East countries, yun po ang, or yung desert, yun po ang habitat ng ating mga giraffe. Tama ba? Giraffe, ano po? At syempre, no, the carabao, no, that symbolizes, no, the hardworking Filipinos, no, ay siya po ang endemic, no, dito sa ating bansa. No, endemic. Sila po ay talagang kinilala, no, bilang simbolo ng ating pagka-Pilipino because they thrive in our land, no, in the Philippines tropical country. Ano po? Kasi meron po tayong environmental conditions na kung saan itong mga animals na to ay nag-e-exist. Ano? Yan po, ang tawag po natin is tirahan or house, no? House ba yun? Or sige, tawagin nating house. Kung house ang tirahan ng mga tao, 'di ba? So habitat naman po ang tirahan ng mga hayop, 'di ba? So may kanya-kanya po tayong tawag. Although we are animal, no, under animal kingdom, pero highest form naman po tayo, 'di ba? Tayo ang pinakamataas sa mga animals. So whether it is condominium or mansion na tinitirahan po ninyo, ay house pa rin, no? Tao pa rin ang tumitira dyan. And it is not classified as a habitat. Ano po? Okay, saglit lang. Habitat na tinatawag. I am teaching science. Okay. Sige. Next po is the niche. So ano po yung tinatawag natin na niche? Are you familiar with the word niche? Now, according to Alicia Hutchinson po, it is the set of biotic and abiotic conditions in which a species is able to persist and maintain stable population sizes. So there are two parts of a niche. One is ecological and the fundamental niche. Ano po? So yun pong fundamental is the environmental conditions. Tinatawag natin environmental conditions kagaya ng ano ba yung type ng soil, ano yung type ng climate, no? Ano yung type ng vegetation, no? Land ba yan or water ba yan? So those are the environmental conditions na kailangan ng isang organisms for them to exist and survive, no? And when we talk about ecological niche, so yun na nga po, all the natural environment, no? So the greeneries, the plants, no, that surrounds, no, the habitat of an animal. Okay? So in other words po, if we talk about niche, we are referring to the smallest, ano po? The smallest version of habitat, no? Ang niche po na tinatawag natin is the smallest version of habitat, no? So, an example of the niche is the kuweba, no? Alam niyo po ba yung mga kuweba? Sinong hindi pa nakakakilala ng kuweba? So, ang kuweba po, diba? There is only one kind of animal that exists in the kuweba. At yan po ay ang bat o yung mga panike, diba? Bakit po doon nag-i-exist at nagmo-multiply, no? Ang napakaraming panike, diba? Sabi natin, source of anong tawag natin? Sulfate, no? Ang kuweba kasi ang daming mga yung mga dung nila, no, yung kanilang mga dumi ng mga panike that serve as a very good source of organic fertilizer. Ano po? Ang dumi po ng panike or the bat is a very good source of organic fertilizer, no? Gustong-gusto po 'yan, 'di ba? Dinadala pa nga 'yan sa ibang bansa. Ini-export natin kasi po ginagamit lalo na ng mga Japanese, 'di ba? In the propagation or in the plant propagation or reproduction. Ano po? So that is an example of niche. Bakit po nag-i-exist sa kuweba ang mga panike? It is because of the dark environment, no? So the dark environment is a kind of condition na kung saan pwede silang mag-exist. Ano po? So that is a kind of environmental condition. Ano po? Another example, yung mga web, spider web, that is a kind of niche, no? Na kung saan isa lang po, 'di ba? Tirahan ng Ano nga spider? Gagamba, 'di ba? So, another one po, yung sinasabi natin ng mga nuno sa punso. 'Di ba? Yung sabi ng mga matatanda, huwag mong i-destroy or huwag mong sisirain kasi baka maputol ang paa mo, no? Yun po ang sabi ng ating mga matatanda. Pero, sa totoo lang, hindi naman po talaga, no? Mga nuno or mga duwende ang nakatira doon, no? Ano po ang nakatira? Mga termites, 'di ba? Bahay ng termites, no? Kaya po nabubumbok ng lupa kasi hinahakot nila doon, no? Yung mga lupa, 'di ba? Kagaya po sa bahay natin, 'di ba? Ang daming mga bahay, pag may mga bahay ng anay, no? Alam na natin, no, na kapag may mga lupang mga ganon, ay dala po ng anay. At matakot na tayo, no? Mag-start na tayong mag-spray, no? Para mawala ang mga termites, 'di ba? So kasi po, ayun po ang tinatawag natin na niche. Another example of a niche ay yung beehive. Alam niyo 'yon, yung beehive, yung tirahan ng mga pukyutan, 'di ba? Na kung saan they are manufacturing the honey, no? The natural honey. Pero sa ngayon po, hindi na po, no? Hindi na masyado ang natural honey, mga cultured honey na, no? Because of a sexual propagation of the bees, no, na nagpo-produce ng honey, no? They are undergoing a certain process, no? Kapag po na-process, it is not organic anymore. Ano po, hindi na po siya organic, ano? So, a sexual reproduction through the process called parthenogenesis. Nakakapagparami po ang mga bees, no? Sa pamaraan na parthenogenesis na nagpaparami ng mga bees. Kasi sa dami ng demand sa honey, no? In different countries, hindi lang dito sa ating bansa. So what we are doing is to culture, no, the bees para makapag-produce sila ng honey. Ano po? Di po ba? Honey. No? Next po, the next term is biomes. Sir Esteban, do you have some question? I think you are saying something. Sige po, go ahead po. The floor is yours. Kung wala po, let's continue. So next one is biomes. Biomes are larger units of organization that categorize regions of the Earth's ecosystems, no? Mainly according to the structure and composition of vegetation. There are different methods to define the continental boundaries of biomes, dominated by different functional types of vegetative communities that are limited in distribution of climate. Okay? Pag sinabi naman po nating biomes, these are the larger version of a niche, no? Mas malaki naman po siya sa niche. Because, ang example po natin dyan, yung mga forest, no? Yung kagubatan, no? Yung ilog, no? A kind of, or a body of water, di po ba? We have the desert, no? The hot desert and the polar desert. Pag sinabi nating polar desert, no, hindi siya mainit, no, kundi malamig siya kasi the polars are thriving, no, in the polar desert. Ano po? And then we have the swamp, no, the Candaba swamp is also an example of a biomes. No, wherein the migratory birds are coming in the Candaba swamp kapag taglamig po sa Siberia, no? They're trying to migrate, no? At doon sila nag-stay sa ating Candaba swamp. Kaya po ang mga locals natin doon are happy, no? Are happy sapagkat maraming ibon na kanilang naiibenta, no? The supplies, no, of those migratory birds are a good source of income for the locals, no, who are residing in the nearby localities. Ano po? So, yun po ang mga example natin ng biomes. Another term is the biosphere. What is this biosphere, no? Ano po itong biosphere na tinatawag natin? So, biosphere is the largest scale of ecological organization. No? It is the total sum of ecosystems on the planet. Ecological relationships regulate the flux of energy, nutrients, and climate all the way up to the planetary scale. So, in other words, pag sinabi po nating biosphere, ito na po ang largest version naman ng ating ecosystem. No? So, the ecosystem is the largest version of biomes. No? And the ecosystem naman po, and the biosphere naman po is the largest version of ecosystem. In other words, the biosphere is the portion of the earth where we live, where all the living organisms are existing. No? So yan po ang tawag natin ay biosphere. Ano po? Portion ng ating planet, no? Na kung saan tayo ay nakatira or nag-e-exist. Ano po? Okay. Now, let us proceed to the environmental protection. No? Unang-unang issue in concern, one of the issues, and I think this is the most environmental or the most critical environmental concern nowadays is all about the global warming o yung tinatawag po natin na climate change. Ano po? And so what is this global warming? No? The global warming is the increase in the Earth's atmospheric and oceanic temperatures widely predicted to occur due to an increase in the greenhouse effect, resulting especially in pollution. So yung pollution po ay naiipon sa atmosphere at ito po ay tinatawag natin na mga greenhouse gases. Example po ng ating greenhouse gases ay ang ating pollution o yung ating carbon monoxide na nanggagaling sa mga makina ng mga sasakyan, no? Na nagpapadagdag para magkaroon tayo ng global warming. Ano po? So the global warming as we have stated ay increase, no, pagtaas ng temperature ng ating kapaligiran or ng ating atmosphere. Na kung saan kumukuha din tayo ng oxygen. Ano po? Ng oxygen. So the carbon dioxide or the carbon monoxide emissions from burning fossil fuels or from deforestation which trap heat that would otherwise escape from Earth. So yun po yung tinatawag natin na greenhouse effect. Ano po? The greenhouse effect is global warming. Okay? So water vapor. So the most abundant greenhouse gas is water vapor. Ano po? So ang water vapor po is came from, no? Water vapor came from the evaporation of liquids, no, from the surface of the earth, no? And it warms, no, the atmosphere. But dahil din po sa water vapor, there is the clouds, no, the cloud formation plus the precipitation, making this some of the most important feedback mechanisms to the greenhouse effect. So a minor but very important component of the atmosphere, carbon dioxide, is released through natural processes such as respiration, no, habang tayo ay pinapawisan o habang tayo ay nagpe-perspire, no, or bang tawag dito, humihinga, no, coming from our respiratory tract, no, humihinga tayo. Di ba mainit yung ating hininga? Because our temperature, body temperature, sabi nga natin, warm bodies, no? Warm bodies or warm blood po tayong mga tao, no? Unlike the crawling, no? The crawling animals na kung saan sila po ay mga cold-blooded, no? Pero tayo, people or The humans, we are warm-blooded. No? Kaya nga pag nagre-report kayo minsan, no, there are 48 warm-blooded no, students from the Charlie Company or from the Delta Company. Because it's true, no, that we are warm-blooded, no, human beings, no. So, the human activities such as deforestation, land use changes, and burning fossil fuels are the causes of atmospheric pressure or yung increase in the temperature of the earth, no, of the atmosphere. And one of the culprits or one of the greenhouse gases is what we call the water vapor, di ba? Kapag kauulan pa lang, no, sa ating mga kalsada, sa ating mga daanan, ang daming naiwang tubig, no? Pero masdan nyo, ilang oras lang, natutuyo na, ilang araw natutuyo na, no? Because of the evaporation, the process of evaporation that changes liquid into gas. At yung gas na yon ay nagiging water vapor, no? Mainit siya na umaakyat sa atmosphere, sa sky. Ano po? At doon sila nagpo-form ng clouds. At yung clouds na yon, maya-maya ay babagsak into rain, in the form of rains. Ano po? Okay, now, the role of human activity is, of course, sabi natin kanina, is the main culprit or the main reasons why we have now the global warming. No? It is, or it was the result of the study that was conducted, no, by the United Nations. And they concluded that 90%, that there are 90% probability, ano po, that human activity is over the past 250 years have warmed our planet, no? Sila po, yung human activity ang naging dahilan din kung bakit tayo nagkaroon ng global warming. Uminit ang ating mundo. Sa dami na ng population, no? At sa dami po ng pollution na ating kinikreate ng mga tao. Yan po ang mahalagang sangkap. Bakit tayo nagkakaroon ng climate change and the global warming? Ano po? Next, how can we help minimize the global warming? No? Number one is to reduce emissions. Either of the four, baka naman po pwede makatulong tayo, no? And in one way or another, kahit isa lang po, no? Papili natin dyan sa apat na yan, malaking ambag na, di ba? Para maibsan. Or kahit pa paano kung hindi man natin ma-eradicate, ay ma-minimize naman natin ang global warming, no? Reduce emission, the heat-trapping emission na nanggagaling sa ating mga vehicles, no? Nanggagaling sa ating mga sasakyan. Kung malapit lang, wag nang magdala ng sasakyan. Maglakad na lang. O kaya, use the e-bike, no? O yung mga bicycle. Diba? Pwede po sila. Nakakatulong pa tayo sa ating kalikasan. No? Pag sa bicycle naman, nakakapag-exercise ka na, nakakatulong ka pa sa kalikasan of not emitting the heat, no, from the engine of your vehicles, no? Number two is stop deforestation. Siyempre, naging problema po natin, no, ang massive illegal logging, no? Yung massive cutting of trees na kino-convert sa mga subdivision, kino-convert sa mga kaingin, 'di ba? Sinusunog ang mga puno, ang mga damo at nagkakaingin. Yan po ay nagko-cause, no, ng pag-increase ng ating temperature. Okay? Another one, fight misinformation. And number 4, prepare for impacts, no? Yung mga tsunami, no? Yung ating pagtaas ng mga waves, no? Yung mga pagsusunog sa mga kabundukan, okay? And extreme weather events. Ano po? Yung destructions in the environment, no? Nandiyan ang mga landslides, nandyan ang mga typhoons. Ano po? So, let us prepare for the coming. Hindi na po kasi ngayon ordinary. Ang mga typhoon, ang landslide, ang mga disaster na nararanasan natin, no? Look at the tsunami, no, na nangyari sa Leyte, no? Yung Yolanda victims, they have suffered enough. Ano po? With this impact of the global warming or the climate change, no? Sila po ang nagdusa, no, sa kagagawan ng mga tao sa buong mundo, no? Hindi lang naman po mga Filipino, 'di ba? Sa mga tao sa buong mundo, no? Lahat po tayo ay may ambag, no, sa nangyaring problema sa ating kapaligiran. Aminin man natin o hindi. Ano po? Okay, next. Now, let us proceed to the different environmental laws. Environmental laws that are our weapon, that will serve as our weapon, ano po, to enforce the law, no? Para po ma-apprehend ang mga violators. Kapag po na-apprehend natin ang mga violators, it is a kind of help to our mother nature, no? Number 1, RA 9275, which is all about the Philippine Clean Water Act of 2004. So the law aims to protect the country's water bodies from pollution, from land-based sources, industries, and commercial establishments. No? It provides for comprehensive and integrated strategy to prevent and minimize pollution through a multi-sectoral and participatory approach involving all the stakeholders. So, hindi po, nobody is above the law. Nobody is exempted, no, to follow the rules, the policies when it comes to our environment, no? Kapag po may nakikita na kayo, no, na naglalagay ng mga dumi sa ating water bodies, no, sa mga bodies of water, apprehend them or give them warning. At least a warning para naman po next time they will not do it again. Na, mga ma'am and sir. Next po, RA 8749. So what is this? No? RA 8749 is all about the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999. So the law aims to achieve and maintain clean air that meets the national air quality guideline values for criteria pollutants. Ano po? For criteria pollutants throughout the Philippines while minimizing the possible associated impacts to the economy. Yes. Ang atin pong atmosphere, yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina, there are so much or abundant presence of greenhouse gases, no, na present in the air. Kaya po kailangan maging active tayo, ano po, and let us enforce these laws comprehensively, no, and intensely. Ano po? So, yung mga nagbubuga ng usok sa taas or the smoke belchers, no? Prohibited na po, no, ang mga smoke belchers. So, what we need is to enforce the law, no? So, yung mga smoke belchers, clear violation of RA 8749. Next, RA 6969. This is all about the toxic substances, hazardous, and the Nuclear Waste Control Act of 1990. No? Ano po itong mga ito? So the law aims to regulate, restrict, or prohibit the importation, manufacture, processing, sale, distribution, use and disposal of chemical substances and mixtures that present unreasonable risk to human health. It likewise prohibits the entry, even in transit, of hazardous and nuclear waste and their disposal into the Philippine territorial limits for whatever purpose, and to provide advancement and facilitate research and studies on toxic chemicals. Ano pong ibig sabihin? So, yun pong mga basura na dinadala, no? Mga hazardous na mga toxic substances, na waste materials from the hospitals na dinadala sa ating bansa. Diba? Last time, na-intercept, no, ng ating mga authorities ang mga containers ng basura coming from other countries. So, prohibited po yan. It is against RA 6969. No? And another thing po, yung mga waste products po ng hospitals, lalo na po mga chemicals na ginamit nila, they should provide, no, a special garbage bin for the disposal of those chemicals. Another thing, ang ating pong mga colleges and universities, no, na nagkakandak ng mga experimentations. Siyempre, kapag may experiment, they are also trying to make use of some chemicals. No? Sila din po ay hindi exempted for the provision of that special garbage disposal. No? Or garbage bin para sa disposals ng kanilang chemicals na ginamit in their experimentation. Ano po? Yun po ang 6969, and then the 1586 or the EIS is all about the environmental impact assessment system, no, established in 1978 with the enactment of PD 1586, no. The EIA is a planning and management tool that will help government decision makers, the proponents, and the affected community address the negative consequences of or risk on the environment. The process assures implementation of environment-friendly projects. Ano pong ibig sabihin? So, ang PD 1586 po is trying to campaign, no? Trying to solicit, no, the attention of the public to consider producing environment-friendly projects. No? Kung kayo po ay gagawa ng mga projects, be sure that this is in accordance or dapat po meron tayong consideration to our Mother Earth. And that is through the making or producing of the environment-friendly projects. No? The PD 705 is what we call the Forestry Code, the revised Forestry Code, no? Wherein, ano po ang sinasabi? The proper classification, management, and utilization of the lands of the public domain to maximize their productivity to meet the demands of our increasing population is urgently needed. Ano po? Kailangan. Bakit po, no? Sa ngayon po, marami na po tayong mga nakakalbong kagubatan dahil sa mga illegal loggers. Apprehend them through the coordination of the DNR personnel. Ano po? And pwede rin po tayong mag-ask, no, sa mga tao. If they have the permit, pwede din po nilang gawing productive ang isang piece of forestry land na kung saan they are not supposed to do illegal logging, but they have to make the land productive by planting plants, no? Ano pa? Fruit-bearing trees. Sa ngayon po, ini-encourage na po natin ay fruit-bearing trees ang itatanim. Ano po? Bakit po? Nawawalan na po kasi ng pagkain ang ating mga animals na nagiging dahilan para sila ay maging endangered na. Ano po? So to provide food for them, the people are encouraged to plant fruit-bearing trees, no? Kasi yung mga fruit-bearing trees, napapakinabangan po ng tao, napapakinabangan ng mga hayop, no? At ng iba't ibang mga kinds of animals for their survival. Ano po? So yan po ang PD 705. Next is RA 10654. So what is this 10654? No? So it is an act to prevent, deter, and eliminate illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. No? Yan pong mga illegal fishing. No? Yung mga dynamite, yung mga trolls, ipagbabawal po. Bakit po? Kasi non-selective po sila eh. No? Nawawala po yung spawn, no, ng ating mga isda, no? Ang coral reefs, no, na nagsisilbing spawn ng ating mga fishes ay nasisira. So kaya nawawala o nawawalan po, no, ng fish sanctuary o kaya po yung mga pinangingitlugan ng ating mga isda. So prohibit them also, no? That is a clear violation of RA 10654. Ano po, mga mamin sir? Next, another one is, ano nga po tong batas na to? RA 7942. No? So this RA 7942 is an act instituting a new system of mineral resources, exploration, development, utilization, and conservation. All mineral resources in public and private lands within the territory and exclusive economic zone of the Republic of the Philippines are owned by the state. It shall be the responsibility of the state to promote their rational exploration, development, utilization, and conservation through the combined efforts of government and the private sector, in order to enhance the natural growth. In other words po, hindi po ibig sabihin na kahit titled yung lupa na inyong nasasakupan o pagmamayari nyo ang lupa at meron po kayong mineral resources there, that is still part, no, of the government's ownership. Pag-aari pa rin po nila. So, paano po kayo makakapag-explore or makakapag-sale or makakapagbenta, makakapag-sell or makakapagbenta, no, ng inyong mga mineral resources? Of course, you have to seek an approval, no? Or you have to possess a permit, ano po, for that purpose. No? Kung walang permit, violation na naman ng RA 7942. Ano po? Okay, next, 7160. Ano po ang kinalaman ng 7160 or ng Local Government Code in our environmental protection? So, sa 7160 po kasi, ano po yun? Nakasaad po, no? In 7160, particularly in Section 33, that all provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays, through appropriate ordinance, are hereby mandated to consolidate or coordinate their efforts, services, and resources for the purpose of jointly addressing common solid waste management problems and or establishing common solid waste disposal facilities. Meaning to say, in that provision po, lahat ng mga barangay ay may kanya-kanya na pong disposition or decision making kung papaano i-manage, kung saan itatapon at kung kailan mangongolekta ng mga solid waste products. Ano po? Yung mga solid waste nila, no, ng mga barangay. Hindi na po pamahalaang bayan pa ang magpa-facilitate ng pangongolekta ng basura sa mga barangay. It's the barangay itself, no? It's the barangay management itself kung papaano nila, no, itatapon ang kanilang mga basura. So they are given the leeway, they are given the decision, no? Sila na po ang magbibigay ng decision kung paano nila mamamanage ang kanilang solid waste. Ano po? That is 7160. Next is 9003. Ano po? The 9003 is all about the ecological solid waste management program, no? Ito pong ecological is very massive and intense, no? Lalo na po sa mga malls, sa mga commercial establishments, because of the segregation na kailangan nilang gawin. That is the ecological solid waste may pag-consider, no, to our environment. May pag-consider sa impact, no, na maaaring idulot ng mga basura na ating itatapon. Kaya po, RA 9003 is all about the ecological, no? Meron pong consideration in our ecological unit, no, or in our ecology. Ano po? So there must be the protection or consideration in the protection of the public health and the environment, no? And then utilize environmentally sound methods that maximize the utilization of valuable resources and encourage resource conservation and recovery, no? Yung meron tayong mga green logistics, no, tawag po natin. Kasi meron po tayong conservation and recovery, no? Baka pwede pang i-recycle, pwede pang i-reuse, no, and the reduce. Involved po sa 9003 ang ating 3 R's, no? The reduce, reuse, and recycle. Ano po, mga maminser? Okay? So, set guidelines and targets. Ano po? For solid waste, avoidance, and volume reduction through source reduction and waste minimization process or measures, including composting, recycling, reuse, recovery, no, green charcoal process, and others. Before collection, treatment, and disposal in appropriate and environmentally sound solid waste management facilities in accordance with ecologically sustainable development principles. In other words po, no, dito po nasasaad sa ecological solid waste management yung ating pong reduction, no, yung ating 3 R's. Reduction, reuse, and recycle, no, of our garbages. Clearly, it is stipulated in RA 9003. Yan. Okay. May question po ba? Baka po mayroong gustong magtanong. So, thank you for listening. We will post